We're going to dive deep into the heart of Bartholomew Kuma's journey, analyzing the key moments that shaped the tyrant into a figure of pure, heartbreaking sacrifice. Part 1. The Grieving Soldier and the Birth of a Hero. The story kicks off in the South Blue, with the Revolutionary Army in a desperate situation. They're outmatched, and a call for aid goes out. Ivankov says it's impossible. They're already stretched thin, dealing with casualties from the Goa kingdom. This is where we get our first critical piece of insight. Kuma, driven by an unseen force, volunteers to go anyway. The narration makes it clear. Ever since Ginny was kidnapped, Kuma had been throwing himself into reckless, dangerous missions. This isn't just dedication. It's a man trying to outrun his own grief and rage. The shocking revelation that Ginny was taken simply because a celestial dragon liked her and was forced to become his wife is the catalyst for this self-destructive path. She's been turned into property, and Kuma's powerlessness to stop it fuels his every action. His efforts, along with the rest of the armies, eventually lead to victory after a 3-year war. The Revolutionary Army becomes a symbol of hope, hailed as heroes by the citizens. But for Kuma, it's just a job. He reports to Dragon, simply stating he's tired and needs rest. While the world sees a hero, we see a man utterly hollowed out by loss. Part 2. The Agonizing Return and a Vow. Forged in tears. 2 years after Ginny's abduction, the unthinkable happens. A call comes in. It's Ginny. She's on a ship with a baby. The revolutionaries are stunned. She greets Kuma, trying to sound cheerful, saying she's returned to the world of the living. Then comes the gut punch. She reveals she contracted a fatal disease and was thrown away because she was no longer of use. To mask her unimaginable pain, she even says the word lucky. It's a desperate attempt to appear strong for her friends. She tells them this is a farewell call, trying to draw a line to protect them from her fate. Kuma, refusing to accept this, demands to know where she is, vowing to come immediately. But Ginny's response shatters him. "I'm sorry, Kuma. I'm going to die soon." In her final moments, even as she tells him not to come, her love for him shines through as she asks Dragon and Ivankov to take care of the too kind Kuma. Her last words, a heartfelt confession of love, "I will love you forever," are spoken as Kuma is already teleporting. The ultimate tragedy here is that in his rush to save her, he likely never heard her final, truest feelings. He arrives at the church in the Sorbet Kingdom, a place of shared memories, only to find the worst has come to pass. Ginny is gone. Her body afflicted by the sapphire scale disease, which turns the skin to stone under natural light. We see flashes of his memories with her, her proposal, her promise to make him happy, as he collapses in tears. The elders explain her incredible willpower. Knowing her fate, she crossed the sunlit sea, enduring excruciating pain, just to bring her child, Bonnie, to safety. It was a mother's ultimate sacrifice. Amidst his grief, Kuma makes a solemn vow. He will raise the child Ginny left behind. Part 3. The Clumsy Father and a Fleeting, Fragile Peace. What follows is a montage of bittersweet, clumsy fatherhood. Kuma, a giant of a man, struggles with the basics of childcare. The local elders have to advise him on everything, from feeding Bonnie to putting her in a steel crib so his massive frame wouldn't accidentally harm her. Seeing Bonnie enjoy her milk reminds him of Ginny's hearty appetite, bringing tears to his eyes. As time passes, Bonnie grows, loved by the entire community. The moment she calls him daddy for the first time, Kuma is once again overcome with emotion. While raising Bonnie, he continues his revolutionary work and even helps train a young Sabo, showing his immense capacity and dedication. But this peace is fragile. The first sign of trouble appears on Bonnie's own face, a small blue stone under her eye. The same symptom Ginny had. In a panic, Kuma boards up every window in the church, desperately trying to shield her from the light. When doctors are called, their ignorance leads to a horrifying suggestion. Let's test it in the sunlight. Kuma's furious rejection shows his terror. Eventually, realizing he can no longer balance his duties with the need to protect his daughter, he makes a heartbreaking decision. He tells Dragon he must quit the Revolutionary Army. He doesn't know what to do, but he knows his place is by Bonnie's side. In a true mark of leadership, Dragon doesn't try to stop him. Instead, he promises to have revolutionaries all over the world search for a cure. Part 4. The Lie of Hope and the Coming Storm. We jump to when Bonnie is 5. She's a feisty kid, chasing other children away from the church, who taunt her as a vampire who can't come outside. When they mock her for being trapped, she proves her power is already formidable. Later, she confides in Kuma about the kids making fun of the stone on her face. In a moment of pure fatherly love, Kuma reframes her disease. He tells her it's not a stone, it's a jewel, and the other kids are just jealous of how beautiful it is. This simple act of kindness reshapes Bonnie's perception of herself. Filled with this newfound confidence, she asks Kuma about traveling after she's cured. She excitedly talks about the Sky Island from a book, connecting it to the sun god Nika, and how visiting would make her father happy too. Kuma, playing along, dances with her and suggests they go when she's 20. But then, a doctor delivers the final, crushing blow. He identifies the disease as the incurable sapphire scale. He coldly explains that even with perfect light deprivation, the disease will progress with time. His prognosis is stark. At best, she has 5 years. She will not see her 10th birthday. There is no cure. As Kuma is reeling from this, Bonnie emerges. She overheard the words 10 years old and asks him what it means. Backed into a corner, with his world collapsing, Kuma tells the most selfless lie of his life. He twists the doctor's words, turning a death sentence into a beacon of hope. The disease, he tells her, won't be cured until she's 10. For Bonnie, this is the best news in the world. She's ecstatic, dreaming of the day she'll be free to travel with her dad. For Kuma, it's a moment of profound agony. He has given his daughter a reason to live, but it's a future he knows is impossible. The episode ends as this personal nightmare collides with a national one. The tyrannical King Bikori has returned, setting the country ablaze and slaughtering his own people. A new crisis begins for Kuma, a man now fighting against time, disease, and tyranny, all for the love of his daughter. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next video.